Daniel never said no to a cup of tea. Whenever life became stressful, he found comfort in a small cafe called the Corner Cup, hidden on a quiet street. The cafe wasn't popular. It had no advertisements, no social media page. Yet every afternoon, a few people quietly walked in, ordered tea, and left with thoughtful expressions. One rainy evening, Daniel entered the cafe after a difficult job interview. The owner, an elderly woman with kind eyes, greeted him with a smile. "The usual?" she asked. Daniel frowned. "I've never been here before." The woman smiled. "Not yet." Before Daniel could ask what she meant, she placed a steaming cup of tea on the table. The tea smelled different. It had the scent of cinnamon, orange peel, and something he couldn't recognize. "No sugar?" Daniel asked. "Taste it first," the woman replied. Daniel took a sip. It was surprisingly perfect, warm, comforting, almost familiar. As he placed the cup down, he noticed something strange. On the bottom of the saucer was a handwritten sentence. "Look at table 7. Daniel slowly turned his head. A young man was sitting alone at table 7, reading a newspaper. Nothing unusual, or so it seemed. A few seconds later, the man suddenly stood up and accidentally dropped his wallet. Daniel quickly walked over and picked it up. "Excuse me," he said. "You dropped this." The stranger smiled gratefully. "Thank you. You just saved me." Inside the wallet was a company ID card. It belonged to the same company where Daniel had attended his interview earlier that day. "You work there?" Daniel asked. The man nodded. "Actually, I'm the hiring manager." Daniel's eyes widened. The manager smiled. "Honesty is rare these days. Come to my office tomorrow morning. I'd like another conversation." Daniel couldn't believe his luck. He looked back at his table. The elderly woman was quietly washing cups, as if nothing unusual had happened. Before leaving, Daniel glanced at the saucer again. The message had disappeared. Only one word remained. "Tomorrow." Daniel slipped the saucer back onto the table. For the first time, he wondered, was it just a coincidence? Or had the cup of tea changed everything? Daniel hardly slept that night. He kept thinking about the mysterious message on the saucer. The next morning, he arrived at the company 20 minutes early. The hiring manager recognized him immediately. "I was hoping you'd come," he said with a smile. The interview felt different this time. Instead of asking difficult questions, the manager wanted to know about Daniel's honesty, kindness, and how he handled failure. An hour later, Daniel received the job. As he walked out of the building, he couldn't stop thinking about the cafe. "I need to thank that woman," he whispered. That evening, he returned to the Corner Cup. The same elderly woman welcomed him with a gentle smile. "Congratulations," she said. Daniel froze. "How did you know?" She didn't answer. Instead, she served another cup of tea. This time, there was another message on the saucer. "Today, help someone who cannot repay you." Daniel smiled. "Is this another test?" The woman simply replied, "Sometimes the smallest choices create the biggest changes." As he left the cafe, he noticed an elderly man struggling to carry 2 heavy bags across the street. Without thinking, Daniel rushed over and helped him. The old man thanked him warmly and handed him a small business card. "If you ever need advice, call me." Daniel slipped it into his pocket without looking. Months passed. Daniel worked hard and enjoyed his new job. One day, the company announced a leadership training program. Hundreds of employees applied. Only one would be chosen. That evening, Daniel found the old business card in his drawer. It belonged to the company's founder, who had quietly retired years earlier. Surprised, Daniel called the number. The old man remembered him instantly. "You're the young man who helped me." Without expecting anything in return, he said. After a long conversation, the founder personally recommended Daniel for the program. Weeks later, Daniel was selected. He finally understood. The tea had never been magical. The messages had never predicted the future. They simply encouraged him to notice opportunities, choose kindness, and act with courage. Daniel returned to the cafe one last time. He thanked the elderly woman. She smiled and pointed to a sign hanging behind the counter. For the first time, Daniel noticed the words written on it. "A good cup of tea doesn't change your life. It changes the way you see it." Daniel smiled. As he walked outside, he realized the greatest twist wasn't hidden inside the tea. It was hidden inside the choices he had made after drinking it. The end.